What's going on, Puckheads? We welcome you in to our Game 2 preview show as we get ready for the Islanders and the Penguins Game 2 in just a little bit over, just a tad over an hour and a half from now. How you feeling going into tonight, Nick?
A little nervous.
Gee, I couldn't tell by the slow moving.
Yeah, a little nervous. I think all Penguins fans are right now.
Yeah. So game time decision, Brian Dumoulin, but it looks like the Russian piece of glass, Evgeny Malkin, will once again not be suiting up for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Just your thoughts on, I know I got pretty heated when we talked about this earlier, me and you. Just your thoughts on this guy's inability to suck it up and play through it when we need him the most.
Yeah, we talked about it about an hour ago in regards to Gino, and today he spent some time with Hainsey 45 minutes before the optional skate, and he also skated as well. Dumo did skate at the optional skate this morning. Yeah, I guess it's frustrating because again, you look at the lineup when everybody's healthy. We talked about this last show is, you have, Crosby, Malkin, Carter, and Bluger. And this sort of just, screws stuff up right away for the playoffs because Carter wasn't supposed to be that second line center. Now he's put into, 18, 20 minutes of hockey per se. It's just, in terms of Gino's injury, I still think it's that knee. Again, we talked about this before. I think he tweaked it in that last game against the Sabres on the Saturday there before the end of the season. We definitely, even if you just need him to lower the minutes that Carter's playing. That's basically it. And if he does, bring some energy to the team and gets a goal or whatnot, or makes a nice play. Also too, it does when you have somebody like Gino in the lineup, it elevates Kapanen as well. You're playing with an elite center. It does help him too. And also too, I found that, that Zucker the other night, again, what's his role on this team? I think he needs to play with somebody elite to produce. So, I think it hurts his game if Gino's on the lineup too.
And you know what really taps my ass is they went into the trade deadline and they made the moves they made with the thought that Gino was going to be back. And had they known that Gino would be battling something like this, would they even have got Jeff Carter? They would have went after someone that could probably take on the second line role if they needed him to. They basically what I'm getting at is they probably think Jeff Carter's in over the head for what they brought him in here to do.
Yeah, I agree with you with that. I think, but again, my opinion on this Penguins team is that it is what it is, and let's see what they can do against the Islanders, and if they can get out of the first round, fantastic. I sent a tweet to one of the Pittsburgh media the other night, and I said, "This is still Jim Rutherford's team. It's still his team. It's still the nucleus of players that he signed. So it is JR's team still with the addition of Carter and if Friedman's in the lineup. But it is what it is, and I think." Do I think they would have went after more of a second line center? I don't think so. I think if you're a Penguins fan, you don't want to hear this, but this is the lineup. This is JR's team, and Berkey and Hexie are sitting up in the press box, seeing what they can do. And if they get out of the first round, if they get out of the second round, fantastic. If they don't, it's time to it's time to relook at the Penguins and their team.
You talk about the nucleus of this team. Are we getting to a point where we talked about this earlier too, where there's a good number of players still on this team from that 2019 knockout and the 2018 knockout the year before against the Capitals that they know Barry Trotz has their number in terms of Mike Sullivan, and those 10 or 11 players, can we officially say that they now have the Barry Trotz hump on their back and he's in their heads a little bit?
Yeah, you made a good reference to it today is that it's similar to like the Washington Capitals when we were in the Washington Capitals heads. It's almost, I heard Phil Bork on the Madden show yesterday, referencing that there was like 2 to 3 players that were on this team back in 2019. No, there's actually 10 players that were on this team in 2019. So they know what happened in 2019. All the fan base does. We all know. We know what happened last year against Montreal. I think, I think Trotsy's in their head. I think, again, Sullivan has, the last, 2018, 2019, he hasn't beaten them. So we talked about it after the game on Sunday. We got to find a way. And I think, listening to everybody, in Pittsburgh and all the sports writers or whatnot and the broadcasters, the stubbornness of Sully not changing his in-game systems throughout the game, that might be his downfall. You don't always have to, play, an aggressive game, or there's got to be points in your game where your team knows where to maybe play a passive 2-3 or a 1-2-2, whatever it is, like we discussed how the Islanders play. You got to have a couple systems that you can throw out there and change it up, because if you're playing that same system, Jordan, all the time, it's easy to coach against. I loved coaching against guys. There was one particular coach, I knew exactly what he was going to do for his forecheck, his breakout, and his power play. And he was very stubborn to always play the same way. And you know what? I had his number. That it was simple. He believed too much in his players trying to beat the system that I was preaching. And you know what? It just didn't work. And I sort of see the same similarities here with this Penguins team.
Yeah, coaches can be really stubborn when it comes to schematics, strategy, and even developing players, right? Like you get coaches that just sometimes they say, "Oh, I don't care what people say about this player. I can get the best out of them," and then you end up at that creek with no paddle.
Yeah.
What are you expecting in terms of Tristan Jarry? He had 37 saves in game 1, but those 4 goals he let in were softer than a roll of Charmin Ultra, and I mean, we'll get into the Honors goaltending situation right after this, but what are you expecting from Tristan Jarry tonight? Like we talked about how the team, the core, that nucleus of those 10 players, they have the Barry Trotz hump on their back. Does Tristan Jarry have that hump on his back of he hasn't won that first playoff game yet when you go back to this year and last year?
I think Jarry's going to play well. I think he's going to, adjust to some of the mistakes he made the other night. We've seen it throughout the season that he's had a poor performance. He's come back. He's played well. So I have faith in Jarry that he's going to, come out and have a good game. He's part of my 5 keys for tonight that I want to discuss.
We're up to 5. It's so bad.
We're up to 5. We're up to 5 now.
We lose tonight. Game 3 will be 10 keys.
15, right? So we're up to 5 keys tonight of the game. But Jarry is definitely he was actually my 3rd key to tonight. If we want to have a victory and tie the series at 1.
Bro, you got keys to the front door, the back door, the garage, the bathrooms.
Yeah. The back door usually works.
Oh. All right. Do you expect them to come out more physical tonight, given as how badly they were out hit, 72-47 last time around? Do you expect them, or do you expect them just to rely on that speed again?
Yeah, that's, if you watch the playoff games, from Sunday, the Florida Tampa game, last night, Carolina, Nashville, Colorado, St. Louis, Boston, Washington. Like I'm not even a fan of those teams. I'm a fan of hockey. I'm just jumping out of my seat just watching this. The aggression by these teams, the want, creating that want in your game. And one of the frustrating things I see with the Penguins is, where's the want? Where is that want to finish every check? Now, when I'm talking about finishing a check, I'm not talking about putting the guy in the 5th row. I'm talking about just letting them know you're there, rubbing them out, and lay the body, right? So you can have a speed game, but that speed game has to come with contact, right? Especially if you're playing that dump, chip it in, go after it. That first guy,
you got to finish your check.
You got to finish the check. Yeah, finish it. finish it, right? Every time you have an ability to hit the guy, hit him. It doesn't have to be like I said, a monstrous hit. Let him know you're there. That's all that counts, right?
KL Day asks, what do you guys think of the Wilson hit on Lazar?
I listen, it's playoff hockey, I'm not gonna, Wilson is Wilson, and bottom line, I think that
you shouldn't even be playing this series. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah, if you go back to that, but at the end of the day, if you're watching hockey from Sunday after the Penguins game, the refs are letting a lot of things go, So you know what? Like we used to say in the room, suck it up, Sally, and let's play hockey.
Guys, suck it up, Sally. Killing me, bro.
Yeah.
So I this might be one of your 18 keys of victory for tonight, but is it imperative that if we get chances tonight, they need to convert on the power play? Because that 0 for 3, that 0 for kind of inexcusable considering how powerful the power play is, even without a guy like Evgeny Malkin around. Do you gotta set the tone with the power play tonight?
Bing, 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 bing. That's my first key to victory tonight is the PP. Because again, if you look at the playoff games, we went 0 for 3 on Sunday. But if you look at the rest, like you're not getting 3 chances here. You're getting maybe 1 or 2. So you need to capitalize like big time, especially against the Islanders, right? So power play was number 1 on my list tonight. And you know what? You got to get pucks on net. The tip stuff to Sid, try it once, try it twice, enough. I'll never forget the game we went to, Jordan. It was Detroit, Pittsburgh, Stanley Cup Finals, 2009. We were sitting four rows up. It was the power play where Gonchar sniped it from the point. We haven't seen a defenseman on the point like Gonch since then that just has that fire first mentality, cannon from the point, let it go, right? That's what they need. And now, you know what? Do I say Letang can do that? No, but you got to get it to McCann. You got to get it to him. Let him rip it, get the greasy, dirty goals, get in front of the goalie tonight, whoever it is, and get those rebounds.
Let's talk about the Islanders for a sec here. Mm-hmm. The quote from Trotz today was, yes, let me give you the exact quote. Varlamov is available tonight, and yes, I will have a Russian goalie in net tonight.
Yeah.
What do you see them doing? Do you see them going to Varlamov or sticking with Sorokin?
Sorokin will get I think he'll get the nod tonight. Why not? You're up 1-0. He won. If things go south and Varlamov's ready to go in game 3, then you try, go with him. But I'm going with the tender that won. And you know what? I love, as much as, being a Penguins fan, Trotz is a mastermind of playing games. There was a quote I read from DK Sports. I was listening to DK the other day, and before the series, Trotz was asked about, Crosby, Malkin, Getzel, all those stars that the Penguins have. And he questioned the goaltending. He questions the Smith and Jari. And nobody even talked about it. Just the way he went about it was very sneaky. But he basically said that Pittsburgh's goaltending is not up to par for them to go far. He basically said it. It was a great quote. He's a smart guy, smart coach at saying things at the right time.
Who said this? Trotz?
Trotz said this. Yeah.
So what the exact quote was about our goals?
Well, it was just basically, I think they don't have experience playing in the playoffs, something like that. But it was unbelievable. It was great. He just slid it in there. And is that, could that be on Jari's mind? I know that, I don't care what anybody says. Athletes do hear stuff. Sometimes it does get in their mind. They hear it. I'm sure he knows that he let in some squeakers the other night, and he's got to come out and play hard. Second key to tonight's game is we talked about it. It's play physicality with speed. You got to play both. You got to get the pucks in deep. 2 of those goals on Sunday resulted in not getting those pucks in deep. They were soft chips that didn't get into the offensive zone. The D intercepted it. They came back, and yeah, they were soft goals. But if you get that puck into the corner, it doesn't happen.
An interesting stat that I saw today from Natural Stat Trick, this team, the mind-blowing thing, we talk about the power play, but what blows my mind is, in 5-on-5 scoring chances, they were up 33-20, and in high danger chances at 5-on-5, they're up 11-6. So they were clearly getting the pressure. Does that surprise you a little bit?
No, because again, what the Islanders do is they're a dump and chase team. And when they get possession of that puck in the offensive zone, right? They cycle the puck very well, and they crash the net, and they get those opportunities. When you look at Pittsburgh, they like to get speed in the neutral zone. They like to create their offense off the rush. I think sometimes teams that don't have that creativity as the Penguins have will get more opportunities because they'll play a harder way down low and get those greasy opportunities in the slot between the hash marks.
Would you, Mike Matheson and Cody Ceci, they played for about 24 5-on-5 minutes. Yeah. John Marino and Marcus Pettersson, Marino had about 15 and Marcus Pettersson had just over 15 as well. Would you be giving more time to Marino and Pettersson?
No way. Actually, I know Matheson struggled on Sunday, but I do not like that pairing of Marino and Pettersson. I think, he looked like Marino's hasn't had a great season. He was okay on Sunday, but that winning goal in overtime, he got pushed right off the puck. Palmieri took it to the net. Pettersson looked like a giraffe on skates. He was just all over the place. Again, this is the stuff that Sully's. It's frustrating. You saw Pettersson struggle. Chad Rubil, he's waiting in the wings. He's fast. He can get the pucks. If they're dumping and chasing, he's getting to those pucks first, right? He's got some wheels on him. He's getting the pucks out. He can skate that puck out. Pettersson's slow. To me, again, it's all the in-game. I'm not going to doubt the guy. He's just, he's an NHL coach, but you sort of have to sort of doubt what's happening here. When you're seeing the same thing 3 years in a row, it's obvious what's happening.
Islander fans are really, really confident, and they said, one Islanders fan I saw today said, yes, if Varlamov is available, and yes, whoever we start is better than Jari. What do you believe? Do you think that's a true statement?
No, I don't think that. I think Jari just, it was a bad game. I think he'll rebound tonight. I was speaking to a former OHL player this afternoon. We were talking about this series, and the one thing that he did say that about the Penguins is for them to beat the Islanders, they have to play not the way Sully's playing the Islanders. They got to play. They got to start putting the gloves in their faces after the whistle. They got to start dictating the playoff intensity, the dirtiness. They got to play like that. It's time for them to play that way. Not what's happened here the last couple of years, even with Montreal in the bubble, we had to play their way. Why are we playing the other team's way? We have to play our way. We have to play dirty. We have to play intense. We have to play in their face. Playoff hockey, right? It just can't be Sid.
But let me ask you, do you see that changing?
No, I don't. I don't see it. I see. Listen, if Sid says, okay, guys, get on my back, I'm taking this team to the next round, that possibly could happen. But a guy like Jake, right? And I love Jake Etzel. I think, great hockey IQ. But you know what? Soft as a pillow. Ever since the injury, ever since he came back in the bubble, soft, right? He used to be in there grinding, hitting. Now he's getting shoved off pucks like a rag doll. right? Rusty, use your speed, hit your use the body. Kapanen, right? Kapanen scored that beauty, but I don't know, Jordan. Did you see him the rest of the game? I didn't see him at all.
I didn't even know he was playing until that goal.
Right. So,
and then the thing about Russ is we kind of expect you to lay that body and be hard on the forecheck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of why you're up there, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, I think, the sad thing about it is, and, we talk about Freddie Hockey, but if you listen to
he should have got more minutes, to be honest with you.
But if you listen, like even Phil Bork last night on Madden, Phil Bork mentioned players should be playing like Freddie Gaudreau. Are you friggin' kidding me? Like, are we really
setter, baby?
Are we really saying the standard is Freddie Hockey? Like, that's pretty scary. I'm telling you right now. That's scary. Because I push for Freddie Hockey to get on the big team because I think he can bring a lot, and he does bring a lot to the table. But if you want your players to play like Freddie, this has got to be like, we're not in a good area here right now.
All right, so how many more remaining over 23 keys do you have to go over?
All right, so we talked about the power play. We talked about the physicality and the speed of the game. Finish every check. We talked about Jari already. Play 60 minutes, right? They played a strong 40-minute game. Well, let's say they played 38 minutes until they got to that 2-minute power play at the end of the second, and then the wheels fell off. So you got to play full 60 minutes. We always talk about that, Jordan, when we go see every Penguins game. And, my boys, if they're watching this upstairs, because I say this all the time, you have to have the shoot first mentality. Okay. Never mind 2-on-1s, passing it and making it look pretty and whatever. Get the pucks on net. And if you're going to shoot and you want that rebound to go to the guy on the 2-on-1, shoot low, shoot for a low pad, and it'll come back to him for the rebound. But don't be like, again, Sid force fed
on the 2-1. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And the Penguins hockey is pass first. Shoot the puck. This Sorokin kid, I guarantee it. If you go up 2 goals, 3 goals on him,
it's
rattled. It's over. And then you have, like, again, I guess Varlamov's going to be backing up. But just picture the other night. If you would have went up 3-0 on that kid, do Penguins fans realize who was the backup? Corey Schneider was the backup. He would have been in the net. They would have pulled him. We would have, come on. So, those are my keys. Power play, physicality, Jari, play 60 minutes, and you have to have the shoot first mentality.
Yeah, I just, what a fall from grace Corey Schneider has gone from, eh?
Yeah.
Holy good God. So what are you feeling for tonight? What are you feeling in your bones?
I can't really tell you. I have to watch the first 5-6 minutes. I'm as a Penguins fan, I'm really worried. I'm worried. Game 1.
All right, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Who do you expect to come out harder in the first 5 minutes?
Islanders.
That's not good. Because that goes back to what we talked about earlier, but where's your want?
Yeah.
You better not let them outplay you in those first 5 minutes, because my thing is, if they outplay you in those first 5 minutes and they get up on you, it's going to be a long night, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Somebody mentioned to me today, again, I had a few conversations with some people about hockey today. Some a little too long to be actually with you, but someone said to me today that maybe the Islanders wanted to be in 4th and play the Penguins. What do you think of that?
No, I think they were. Well, it sure looked like they were trying to win the division early on.
But I'm saying when things started to, look like they weren't going to catch 3rd, or they weren't like.
I think they were fine with matching up against us or the Capitals, if you want my honest opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Caps bring more of a physical game. And I even question maybe the Capitals were a better opponent for us, to be honest with you, because we are much faster than the Caps and whatnot. But tonight, Jordan, it's going to be about how the Penguins come out. the first 5-6 minutes, the Penguins have to come hard. They got to score. They got to score early. They got to score first. They cannot let the Islanders score first. They cannot. Right?
Do you see? So, we're getting up against the ropes here a little bit, and you don't see any changes at all coming down from Mike Sullivan. You don't see any adaptiveness at all.
No.
Because I'm just saying, like, even long-term projection, even if somehow you do sneak out this series, that's not good.
Let me ask you a question, Jordan. In the last 3 years, have you seen anything different?
No, that's why I'm asking you. I'm looking for that glimmer of hope, bro. Like,
so, if you haven't seen anything different,
but here's my same thing. Yeah. Isn't the definition of insanity doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results?
It is, but
I'm just saying, bro.
I don't know.
Like, can you just explain this to me for a sec? Because you've been a coach. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where does this stubbornness come from? Like, was it adapted as a player? Like, when they were a player? Like, when do you get to here? My question. Yeah. When do you get to the breaking point as a coach when you look back, sit back, look in the mirror, and say it isn't working?
Well.
Like, are we always going to clutch on to the 2016 and 2017 cups? Is that what?
That's the answer right there, Jordan.
But it's been 5 years since the first and 4 years since the second, bro.
Right. So that's been, the downfall of the Penguins. They haven't changed. They haven't changed. Now, is it the coach? Is it maybe the players, the leadership team that do not want to play another system? They want to play this high tempo speed system. Who knows? Maybe it could be Sid. It could be the veteran leadership saying, "Listen, we like this system. It's good." The Penguins like to have that freewheel system. They like to score goals. They're an entertaining team in the regular season. But I tweeted somebody last night. I said they're a great regular season team, but they're not built for the playoffs. Now, listen. I hope they go tonight and they score 6 goals and we were tied 1-1. They win this series. They go on to win the Stanley Cup. Of course, I'm a Penguins fan. But right now, you have to look at the last 3 years. You'll have to look at what happened Sunday. You have to look at the stubbornness of the coaching, the head coach, to not change. And you know what? It's the same. It's the same roster. It's the same, like, it's eerie how similar it's always every year, right? And it comes down to, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, it's JR's team. It's not, and again, it's any other franchise, Jordan, would have fired Mike Sullivan after the bubble mess.
Right? Any other franchise, listen, here's my thing. We have a history in terms of we have a coveted history. We have a really, this is a team that they have a pretty decorated past since they came into the league. Since Lemieux was drafted, we're a pretty decorated team, okay? 5 Stanley Cups since he was drafted, all right?
Yeah.
They always talk about the expectations. My thing is they don't act like they have expectations at the top, because a team management of a team that had these high expectations of we need to be competing for a Stanley Cup every year, Sullivan would have been out on his ass after we lost 4 straight against the Islanders. Right after, you know what? Because here's the thing. This is what I don't get, bro. This is what I do not understand. Mario played this game at the highest level of anyone ever. And yet he didn't sit back after we got swept by the Islanders and say to himself, he beat us with the Washington Capitals roster, which was way more talented, so I let that slide. Now he swept us with a far less talented, and talking about Trotz, with a far less talented roster, just because he outcoached our guy. Like, that's the thing. Like, those rosters were day and night, but he proved He beat us better and quicker with the less talented roster, bro. And that's why I'm sitting back. I'm like, how does Lemieux, as a former player and now management, not say to himself, well, the book's out, we got to switch it up?
One word: loyalty.
Yeah, but we're in the business of winning. We're not in the business of circle jerking each other, bro.
We've talked about that. We've talked about it. The loyalty of the Penguins. How long did it take them to fire Dan Bylsma after the 2009 Cup? When maybe with the teams that were built there with Ray Shero, there was an opportunity to get another cup there, right? With those teams. And now we're seeing this with Mike Sullivan, right? I think he's a really good coach, but I think that, you know what?
He's just as stubborn as Bylsma was.
Exactly. And he's going down that same path. But, for me, okay, you lose the Capitals in 18, fine, got it. It's hard to three-peat. Let's move on from there. Then you look at 2019, you get swept. Okay, that's, we're swept. Something must be wrong here. Something's not working. Then the debacle in the bubble, that's the final straw for me. That's where, the thing that really gets me going too is that, Rutherford talked about it. And again, we're not going to get into details about this, but when they got knocked out in the bubble, he went after the core, right? Okay. Maybe it's not the core. Maybe it's just now, you know what? Teams figured out our system. It's time. Like, listen, I believe with the core that we have still, it's one of the elite cores in the NHL. That being said, this particular core needs a change of voice every 3 to 4 years to succeed. Okay.
We learned that with Therrien.
The proof is in the pudding, right? So, if they don't beat the Islanders, yeah, I'll be pissed, and all the Pens fans will. But change is coming.
I love Mario, but this is mismanagement, and the reason why I say that is, listen, you keep on letting coaches outlive their shelf life without thinking to yourself, I only have a certain amount of shelf life with these players I have.
Right.
Like, you're getting into your wasting years.
Yeah, and we talked about this
Sunday. And not having that forethought to see that is a scary, scary thing, my friend.
Right.
So
we'll see. We'll see what happens tonight.
Let's get some final thoughts. Give me your final thoughts.
Yeah. Final thoughts. Again, 5-6 minutes key. Penguins have to score first. They can't keep the Islanders in the 0-0 tight game after the first period. They got to get on the board first. They got to make the Islanders a little bit open up here. If you get a 2-0 lead, hopefully they can, they open up. We get some more odd man rushes because you're not going to get it. Shoot first mentality. Power play has to be on point if you get 1 or 2 power play chances. And let's go Pens.
Yep. All right, guys. We will be back probably about a half hour after the game ends tonight for the post-game show. Until then, good luck to the Penguins. I hope all of y'all got your favorite beverage or whatever your vice is on hand. All right. So I hope everyone has a good time watching the game, and we will see you after the game, puckheads. Let's go Pens.